The day our daughter died, my wife, Diana, was named Mother of the Year. It was because she had put on a show of integrity, exposing our own daughter as the perpetrator of a fatal hit-and-run. But what no one knew was that she had lied, committing perjury to protect her first love and his daughter. Our daughter, her pleas for help ignored, swallowed an entire bottle of sleeping pills and died in despair. Facing the cameras, she carefully shielded her first love and his daughter behind her, her expression a mask of integrity. "I'm a journalist," she declared. "It's my duty to expose the truth." I numbly held our daughter's body, her last breath just moments ago. Her devastated sobs echoed in my mind. Why would Mom frame me for someone else? I'm her daughter. I had no answer for her. But I knew one thing. I would not let our daughter rest with this injustice. A debt of blood must be paid in blood. Dad, don't save me. Living is just too painful. I just don't understand why Mom would lie to hurt me. I'm her own daughter. That was after she finished recording her last video for me. Our daughter, Lily, had swallowed the entire bottle of sleeping pills without a moment's hesitation. By the time she was found, her face was ashen, her limbs were cold, and her breathing was so shallow it felt like it could stop at any second. When I rushed to the hospital, my mind was a roaring void. I completely fell apart. I trembled as I pleaded with the doctor. "Please, you have to save her. My daughter is only 20. She's so young. She hasn't even had a chance to live." The doctor sighed and rushed her into emergency care. I dug my nails into my palm, forcing myself to stay calm. Lily still needed me. I couldn't fall apart now. My hands shaking, I pulled out my phone and called my wife Diana, the woman I once loved and now despised. She was the one who did this to Lily. A week ago, Lily was suddenly taken into custody, accused of a fatal DUI hit-and-run. They claimed to have found clothing stained with the victim's blood in her room, and they had a witness. My wife, Diana, Lily's own mother. She swore up and down that Lily was the driver. She came home that night, reeking of alcohol, completely frantic. She had said, "There's no doubt it was her. I'm a journalist. I don't tell lies." Diana, are you insane? Do you have any idea what you're saying? I couldn't believe my ears. When I looked back at her, I saw a flicker of relief on her face. A sense of dread washed over me. Later, when Diana was out, I went through her phone. The horrifying truth made my blood run cold. The real driver was Tiffany Vance. Her father is Richard Vance, Diana's first love. It was Tiffany who had been driving drunk, and Richard had gone to Diana for help. "Diana, what are we going to do? Tiffany is so young. If she gets caught, her life is over." In the iMessage history, Diana's reply was gentle and reassuring. "Don't worry, Richard. I've known Tiffany her whole life. I won't let that happen. I'll figure something out. Please don't cry." So this was her solution? To let our daughter, Lily, take the fall? Lily, the child she had carried for 9 months. As absurd as it was, I wasn't even surprised. She had abandoned Lily and me for that father and daughter countless times before. On Lily's birthday, Diana was on vacation with Richard and his daughter. When Lily had a seizure from a high fever one night, Diana was at Disney World with them, watching the fireworks. She even left Lily and me stranded on I-90 once, just so she could race back to Chicago for Tiffany's parent-teacher conference. The list of incidents like that was endless. And every time, she would declare with self-righteous indignation, "Richard and I are just friends. He's a divorced single father. It's not easy for him. You could show a little compassion instead of being so jealous and petty." I put up with it again and again because she was Lily's mother, but she should never have laid a hand on my Lily. "Diana, you monster." I confronted Diana, demanding to know why she would do such a thing. She just shoved me away. "They're in such a terrible situation, Frank. I had to help them. I'll make it up to Lily later." The police released Lily temporarily due to a lack of evidence. But when she came home, she was a different person, silent and withdrawn. The light had gone out of her. It was like a knife in my heart to see her like that. I thought if I could just prove her innocence, maybe the old Lily would come back. But before I could act, Diana struck first. She published an online article that nailed Lily to a public cross. The headline read, "A Mother's Brave Choice: Why I Exposed My Own Daughter as a Hit-and-Run Killer." As a well-known journalist, she had a significant following. Within minutes, the article had over 100,000 views and was being shared all over Facebook. Overnight, everyone was convinced our daughter was guilty. I could explain until I was hoarse, but no one would believe Lily was innocent. Diana admitted to herself, "Just give it up." A mother wouldn't turn on her own child. She must have been completely heartbroken to have to expose the truth like that. Then came the scorn from our friends and the whispers from our neighbors. Lily lost her spot in her master's program, the one she had worked so hard for. The victim's family, convinced Lily was responsible, started showing up at our house daily. They mailed us dead rats, splattered foul-smelling liquid on our front door. The harassment was relentless. I did everything I could to shield her, but Lily wilted like a flower in a drought. "Dad, I don't get it. Why would Mom lie to hurt me?" she'd ask. "I'm her daughter." Looking into her vacant, pain-filled eyes, my heart shattered. I had no answer for her. And now, my Lily had finally broken. She was the kind of girl who would make a fuss over taking a single aspirin. I can't imagine the pain and despair she must have felt to swallow that entire bottle. The call finally went through. Before I could even speak, Diana's annoyed voice cut in. "Is Lily making a scene again? When is she going to stop this? I already told her I'd pay for her to study abroad once this all blows over. She needs to stop being so dramatic, threatening suicide just because a few people said some mean things. How did I end up with such a weak daughter?" Looking at our daughter, who was unconscious and slipping into shock, I was gutted with grief. "Diana, I'm not calling to argue. Lily is in the emergency room. They're trying to save her. You need to come." Before I could finish, I heard a man's voice in the background. It was Richard. "Diana, the ceremony is about to start. Come here. Let me fix your dress. I don't know what Tiffany and I would have done without you these past few weeks." I recognized his voice instantly. Diana's attention shifted completely. A second later, she hung up on me. The disconnected tone echoed in the sterile waiting room. My heart went cold. I stared into space for a long time, my hand instinctively moving as if to cover Lily's ears. But a trickle of dark blood was already seeping from her ear. She looked like a fragile, broken doll. I was afraid to even touch her. I fought to stay strong, but the tears came anyway. "Dad, don't cry. It doesn't hurt. I'll be free soon. You should be happy for me." Lying on the gurney, Lily's face was pale to the point of being translucent. She forced a weak smile, but her eyes were losing focus. "I'm sorry, Dad. I can't stay with you anymore. And please, don't call Mom. I hate her. She's not my mother. In my next life, I just want you." As her hand fell limp, I completely shattered. I don't remember being pushed out of the trauma room. I don't remember the blurs of people moving around me. I waited from day into night. Finally, a doctor in scrubs emerged, his face etched with sorrow. In that instant, my world dissolved into chaos. I clamped my hands over my ears, trying to block out the world. I collapsed my knees on the cold floor, a raw, guttural scream tearing from my throat as despair consumed me. But one sound cut through the haze. On the large television in the waiting area, Diana's face appeared in a live interview. For her selfless act, the city of Chicago had just named her Mother of the Year. She stood before the cameras in a stunning evening gown, absolutely glowing. Behind her stood Richard and Tiffany, dressed just as impeccably. The three of them together looked like a perfect family. How happy they looked. A tidal wave of hatred crashed over me. I wanted to tear those butchers apart with my bare hands. As a reporter asked a question, Diana carefully shielded the Van Cess behind her and condemned Lily in a firm, righteous tone. "I'm Lily's mother, but I am also a citizen with a responsibility to my community. She made a mistake, and she must be held accountable. I will personally see to it that she reforms herself. You have my word." The crowd erupted in applause. Everyone was cheering for Diana, calling her a great mother, a true role model. I overheard someone say, "If I had a mom like that, I'd be the luckiest person alive." How does someone that wonderful end up with a criminal for a daughter? Talk about a bad apple. And all this, while my Lily was taking her last breath, shamelessly used by Diana as a stepping stone to her own success, wrung dry of her very last drop of life. Lily was right. That woman didn't deserve to be her mother. I choked back my grief. Trembling, I leaned down and kissed Lily's cold, pale cheek one last time. "Don't be scared, Lily. No one can ever hurt you again. And I promise you, Dad will make every single one of them go to hell to pay for what they did. Diana, Richard, and Tiffany. I will make them pay with their blood." My Lily was gone forever. That bright, beautiful girl was now nothing more than a small ceramic urn. I collapsed at the crematorium, crying until I passed out, digging my nails into my arms just to feel something other than the emptiness. "Frank, you have to hold on," I told myself. "Lily is waiting for you to clear her name." Running on fumes, I went back to our house to start packing up her things. But when I opened the door, everything was different. Richard Vance was standing there in my robe, with Tiffany beside him, looking completely at home. Diana and I were still married. How could they be so brazen? Lily was barely gone, and they were already desecrating her memory. Rage boiled up inside me, my vision turning red. I stormed towards Lily's bedroom, only to find it completely transformed. Everything that had belonged to her was gone. I heard Richard's smug voice from behind me. My lease was up, so Diana invited Tiffany and me to move in. The old furniture was so drab, I took the liberty of redecorating. What do you think, Frank? A roar filled my ears, and the last thread of my sanity snapped. I lost control, screaming as I lunged at them, my hands becoming fists. Lily was gone. Why couldn't they leave me even one single memory of her? Why did my innocent daughter have to die while these monsters got to live without a care in the world? Frank, have you lost your mind? Stop it. Diana rushed out from the kitchen, her face a mask of fury, and immediately put herself between me and the Van Cess. Just like always. Look at yourself. You're acting like a lunatic. Diana snapped, scowling at me. Richard came to give us money. He's grateful for our help. Try to act civilized. On the coffee table sat a thin envelope with $1,000 inside. $1,000. I let out a hollow laugh. Diana, you're really a piece of work. Is that what Lily's life is worth to you? $1,000. What are you talking about? Stop blaming me for everything. You're acting as if Lily is actually dead. Her voice grew sharp with impatience. Speaking of which, where is Lily? Tell her to get in here. We have guests. Did you teach her any manners at all? I stared at her, my voice ice. She's not coming back. Are you happy now? My Lily. Her life ended at 20. She took her last breath at the exact moment her mother was on television, calling her a disgrace with no morals. Diana, when you finally realize you killed your only daughter for them, will you still be so arrogant? Looking at her scowling face, I let out a cold, sharp laugh. You really don't know, do you? Lily is dead. That article of yours, the one full of lies, it killed her. Tell me, Diana, how does it taste, profiting from your own daughter's blood?